Welcome to another episode of Weather or Not for the Summer. I'm your host, Mr. Squeegee, and we're bringing this to you on behalf of WindowCleaningResource.com. Today I want to talk about one of the irritations that we deal with in the summertime, and that's bugs. It can be quite a nuisance. In our area, different times through the summer, we'll get gnat infestations, and they can just be whole clouds of them as you walk through the yard. So one of the ways that we've tried to deal with this is through different kinds of repellents and products that seem to work as a repellent. I've read before where guys will take a bounce dryer sheet and put that in their pocket, and they say that works pretty well for mosquitoes. The Off has a product that's a little clip-on fan that works well for mosquitoes. Unfortunately, a lot of those things don't necessarily work for gnats as well. Some of the things we've kind of gone through, some of the ladies in the audience may recognize Avon product, Skin So Soft. This is more floral. They have it in a less floral set for the guys, if that's what you prefer. Seems to do a pretty good job, but it always leaves my skin feeling a little greasy the few times that I have used it, so that can be a bit of a nuisance. You want to make sure you wash your hands after you put it on so you're not getting that in your washer or your water. Something else that we've tried is an off product called Deep Woods. It's supposed to be long lasting, and it does seem to do well against mosquitoes, but again, for the gnats, I find that within an hour, I'm forced to reapply this and reapply it pretty liberally if I want to keep the gnats off of me. But it does well for mosquitoes and things like that. One of the things I've recently started using is a product that's not necessarily meant as a bug repellent. It's Absorbing Junior. I get this at the Walgreens in town, and it really does a good job against the gnats. Not so much against flies, but the gnats seem to really be repelled by that, and I don't have to put it on quite as often. Some people are put off by the smell, though, so it's got that bitter smell to it. So it's something to think about. If you're working outside most of the day, it would be a good product. But again, when you go inside, you want to make sure it's not something that might bother your customer if they happen to be home. So there's a few different products out there that you can use. But just make sure that you're using something, especially when we think about mosquitoes, because as this can says, West Nile virus. Well, here in the Midwest, there have been a few cases of West Nile virus, so it's something health-wise that we want to make sure we're not getting bitten by mosquitoes, so we're kind of protected that way. So it's not just a nuisance factor in that case, it can be a health factor as well. So it's another thing for you to contemplate throughout your summer work schedule. I'm your host, Mr. Squeegee. I want to thank you for tuning into this episode of Weather or Not on behalf of WindowCleaningResource.com.